Hi everyone, thanks for checking out another InfoSec Hub video, and today we're going to talk about best network security tools. And why is a network so important? It's literally the gateway to all your computers and your home network and all the files you have. So it's very good to secure the traffic, data traffic, network traffic, and put some tools in between your computer and the internet. So we have various tools out there that are open source, and some of them are closed sourced. But I will show you what you can do without any money. Maybe you need a computer that is running 24/7, but you can do it yourself if you really care about security. So let's go into it. Snort, I know this package. It has been part of pfSense. What you see here, this is an open source firewall, router software. Been using it for quite a long time. I don't manage it myself because I'm not a network guy. You know that by now. But this is a very powerful open source tool. You can have an IDS, you can have a firewall, you can have VPN connections going onto it. And this is all set up from one computer, one router. You can buy ready-made appliances made and configured by pfSense, so you can buy them ready-made, but you can also just put it onto an old computer with two network cards. Mind you, one network card is going from basically the modem to the pfSense machine, so that's the WAN port, wide area network internet port, to the LAN, local area network, and the filtering happens through the software, and so on the other side you have good clean internet coming out, so to speak. It can do DHCP, it can do VPN, it can do lots of things, IDS, intrusion detection system, intrusion prevention system. It can do all of that, and this is called Snort. This one is another one. It's also an IDS IPS solution, also open source, and this works in conjunction with OpenSense. Not sure if we find that one around there as well. And here is also a host-based intrusion detection system. OSEC basically does the same as Snort and Surikita. Nah, I'm not very good with names, but this is basically an IDS IPS as well. We talked about OpenSense. We have OpenSense as well. We have pfSense. This is pfSense, well known to that. IP tables is just a Linux firewall. It basically says, okay, what kind of traffic can come in. You have an WAN IP. This is your, if you go to what's my IP, then you know what your WAN IP is. So basically your public internet address is. And then internally, you can have certain servers, you can have certain computers, you can open up a server to be accessible through the internet. And we have this kind of thing going on. What's it called again? It's called NAT, Network Address Translation. So we have a request coming in at the outside door, which is the firewall basically. And it says, okay, I want to connect to a web server that's located here. All right, so it translates the external IP to the internal IP. We can all make sure that only, I'm from the Netherlands, you can say, okay, only in the Netherlands you're allowed to access this computer, this server. It's possible. Based on IP tables, because every country has their own GUIP block, their block, I should say. The Netherlands has that. They have certain addresses assigned to them. Germany does, Poland has, the United States has, every country has. So you can basically control whose kind of connections are allowed to come in. And when you have a server only dedicated from one location and all the IPs, you only allow that IP. And then it's blocked to the rest of the world. That's a very basic setup of a firewall. What is allowed to come in, at what port, and what's not allowed to come in. Then we have Wireshark, which is basically a network sniffing monitor. You can set up a connection between a host and a server, or between two hosts, and you can see what kind of traffic goes through. And it's really on the packet level. So You can also see I acknowledge you here, checking around discovery, acknowledging all those packets which is constantly flying. It's very low level, but it is data, and it sniffs out all of those and it makes it visible to you, so you can also see what's going on. In this regard, I used to have a Samsung TV that connected to, I think, either Beijing or Korea every 10 seconds. I don't know why. It could have been diagnostics, could have been something else. And you can see the requests on the IP coming. You see the request coming from your IP going to the internet to an IP, and you can reverse look up the IP and see where it's going. Korea, Beijing, why? You block it because you can when you have a firewall, and then your computer or your TV doesn't work anymore. Says enough. All right. So it's really crazy, actually. Nagios, it's kind of the same as SolarWinds. Let's say, for instance, you have a data center and you have 200, 300, 400 clients. You want to see what's going on. What is the connectivity? Are there certain issues? Are there certain red flags you want for managing your whole IT infrastructure, either on the server level, on the endpoint level, whatever you want to see what's going on, and you want to see what kind of connectivity issues people are having or what they are running into. And SolarWinds was hacked a couple of years ago, but this kind of software is very vital if you have many people working in your company, you have many endpoints, you have servers, maybe even a data center on-premise, or maybe even in the cloud. You can monitor it. What is the traffic going through? What is going on? And you can combine it with an IDS and IPS and a firewall. So you have one big dashboard of your whole infrastructure and what's going on. So Nagios, SolarWinds, and Nessus are the same. So here we have Metasploit, which is part of Kali Linux, OpenVAS, I don't know, Greenpoint, open source framework for scanning and detecting network vulnerabilities. Okay. So this could be on the router level or the switch level, but it could also be scanning a server, recognizing it's a web server or a file transfer server, FTP, and recognizing it that this version that's running there is legacy and it has certain exploits there. So you can scan networks for this and you can see where vulnerabilities live. And you don't want vulnerabilities. You won't need to. It needs to be patched. Otherwise, you're potentially, in for big trouble. The same thing with the Metasploit network is for penetration testing, discovering and exploiting vulnerabilities, and that's what it's all about. Vulnerabilities is just a piece of code most of the time that is written wrong or malicious, and people could exploit it, and you want to be aware of this so you can patch it or you can rewrite it or take it offline or whatever you want to do, but you want to be notified of this. And Kali Linux, I made a few videos about this as well. This is really like the white hat hackers, but it can also be used by black hat hackers. This is really the distribution Debian based that hackers use, and on all kind of levels, application level, network level. You can run your tools and your scripts and see what's going on. We have like Burp Suite and Nmap and Splunk. I will go into that maybe even later. I promised that already before, but it's quite difficult to set it up because it takes a lot of knowledge. I know the concept of it, but it's all about getting into a system. And you do that over the network, you do some reconnaissance, you see what's going out there, you kind of map out what's going out. We have one router, behind that there's a firewall, behind that we have 3 servers. This server leads to a database server, this database server is connected to this client, this endpoint, and you're just doing some mapping. And you get all the IP addresses going on. Okay, if this is a server, this is Oracle server, it uses a certain port. This is a SQL database, it uses a certain port. So you're really mapping it out and seeing what's behind it and then you see a certain version number, you cross-reference it to a vulnerability database, and you see what kind of vulnerabilities are living inside it and what can I do. And inside Kali Linux, you have all the tools to do it. If you do it in a production environment, of course, I can't stress it enough, it's illegal. If you do it within a testing stage or staging environment, it's alright. Then you can see how far you can go. And that's also what people do that are doing pen testing, penetration testing of systems. They use all these kind of tools. Now, Splunk, as the last one, it also is basically a database, just like a SIEM. If you have, let's say for instance, you have a global company, you have the United States, you have Europe, you have Asia, and we want to see what's going on inside the network. We have VPN tunnels between the various locations, we have servers, we have routers, we have all the kind of critical network infrastructure that one would keep track of. But all this logging, I'm not going to log into a router or into a server to check the logging. No, we want the server or the switch or whatever is connected to the network / internet to be pushing those kind of logs to a central place, so we can create a database based on our risks profile, and then we can just check what we want to see. And we want to be alerted when a switch going down, or when a computer is running at 90% of its capacity, because then maybe we need to add a new computer, maybe we need to add new resources, only to make sure that we have a business continuity going on. And that's what we use Splunk for. It's been around for many years. It's basically a big database full of loggings from all kind of network devices, and with this we're just going to keep track of what's going on. So in a nutshell, there are plenty of tools out there that is good for the network, to keep an insight on what's going on in the network, and you can take action if needed, basically, because nobody gonna keep track of 1,000 servers, maybe even 200 servers. Nobody is gonna keep track of that. Nobody's gonna keep track of what the firewall is pushing out and the false positives and what's going on. No, because it's not set and forget. You set it up to the best practices, basically, and then you tweak to your personal needs, because every individual, every company has their own personal needs. So I hope that was explained well. I hope I took my time. We're gonna make more videos, but very soon we're gonna start with the SISM. Hope you're there, and see you next video. Thanks for watching.